In case you didn't hear, Hollywood actors are going on strike along with the Writers Guild of America strike, which, as a result, will mark Hollywood's most widespread work stoppage in more than 60 years. And I'm not just being dramatic, this strike is expected to shut down all film and television productions that involve Screen Actors Guild members. A lot of delays and bad turnouts have already happened to movies and TV shows due to the writers' strike, and if that didn't kill Hollywood already, this strike is definitely the final nail in the coffin. Because the Screen Actors strike will stop actors from doing any type of promotional work like attending red carpets or doing press or podcasts. All this is already coming into effect because Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer premiered in London on Thursday, July 13th, and the cast walked out of the premiere when the strike was called. This also includes conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, and a lot of them, including Good Omens and That 70s Shows, have already canceled their panels. Similar to the writer's strike, the Screen Actors Guild strike is fighting for increased benefits to health and pension plans, fair residuals, strict AI regulations, and self-tape regulations. And of course, the rich douchebags who own these companies have rejoiced. The writer's strike was already historic enough with it happening after 15 years, but now with the Screen Actors strike, it's a dual strike, which hasn't happened since 1960. The reason this is a big deal is because of all the international attention this is getting, especially with major celebrities being involved. This could be the very beginning of many more labor strikes because it's not just the entertainment business that's going to strike now.
AI. This is a moment of history. That is a moment of truth. If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble. We are all going to be in jeopardy of being replaced by machines and big business. Who cares more about Wall Street than you and your family?
Honestly, it boils my blood knowing that there's a bunch of ignorant people out there that think that AI will just solve everything because it really won't. In fact, AI has made it way too easy for these assholes to cheat people out of their money because you don't have to give AI any royalties, rights, residuals, literally nothing. Which is one of the things that both these strikes are fighting against. Yeah, so huge congratulations to every single one of these companies that got nominated for an Emmy, literally for the people you're screwing over's work. Seriously, there are people out there who have taken all these risks and made all these sacrifices just to work in the entertainment business, and now they're getting screwed over by a bunch of idiots in suits. It's funny, I just posted a video on why these studios should stop remaking movies, but now with all this happening, they really can't remake any movies at the moment. Honestly, I don't understand why these people are against this. This is people's livelihood you're messing with, and they deserve to get paid fairly. A lot of people tend to see movies and TV shows as this disposable thing where you can just put it on and turn it off like nothing, and they don't see that these people need to make their money, otherwise things like this are going to happen. And all this straight up has to do with the capitalism that we live in this world. I think George Carlin said it the best in this clip.
Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it.
When it was just the writers, Hollywood studios were planning on just waiting it out with them until they eventually lose their jobs and their houses. This is honestly so cruel and sickening that these assholes would rather just have them suffer rather than just pay them. Well, they can't really do that anymore because with no actors, they're going to lose double the amount of money they were losing just with the writers. The more I talk about this, the more I realize that this whole thing is so stupid and it could have easily been avoided. How do these studio execs not see that you can't make money without your actors and writers? Like, all these AI programs aren't going to solve anything. One of the worst things I've heard about this whole thing is that the AMPTP, if I said that correctly, proposed that they scan background actors' faces so they can pay them just for the day, which could be like $200, maybe $300, and then with that scan, they can continue to reuse that scan without the actor's consent or compensation. Like, what the actual hell? They're literally trying to own people's likenesses.
You know, one day that's going to be the actor's whole job. Just sitting in a room for 5 seconds while a machine scans his face, and then 6 months later, plug in a movie on Kimmel.
They're seriously weaponizing AI. By doing this, they're just opening Pandora's box, only to realize it's secretly the Ark of the Covenant. And sadly, it's already happening because I went to go see The Flash, and there was a scene featuring Christopher Reeve's Superman, and rather than being excited about the cameo, I was honestly horrified that they were able to just use his likenesses for that movie. I obviously have so many feelings about this, but that's it for now. I might post an updated video in this case when things come up, but that's all for now. If you made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.